years to explain what our role is vis-a-vis
Sure.
immigration enforcement, and not surprising, having worked in 3 other cities with significant immigrant populations as well, this is something I've had to deal with in my career. And there's a lot of, it's easy based on all the public rhetoric and the press coverage of policing in America, for some folks to misunderstand the role of local police in immigration enforcement. Basically, we have no authority to enforce immigration law, and we have no jurisdiction to enforce immigration law, and we don't enforce immigration law, nor does any other local police department in the country. And you might have a different impression based on the conversations that are going on right now and have gone on in the past. We have an excellent relationship with all our federal agencies, and if they are seeking our assistance to arrest a criminal, we regularly do that. So if there's a criminal arrest warrant or criminal investigation, and so that would apply the same whether it's Homeland Security investigations or the FBI or ATF or anybody else. The way our notification systems work is if there is an active warrant for someone who we encounter in a car stop or an investigation or something, we would be told, an officer would be told, there's an arrest warrant for this person, and it could be a federal arrest warrant, and we would make that arrest on behalf of federal authorities. Where this conversation of what to do with someone who may be an undocumented immigrant who contacts the local police comes up is the issue of, if we're otherwise done handling them in any circumstance, whatever it would be, it'd be a traffic accident, it could be a minor arrest for which we're going to release them anyway because that's what we would normally do, or there's bail being posted, something like that. The issue then becomes, if we happen to know that the person is undocumented and we happen to know that immigration authorities would like to have access to that person, the issue for every police department in the country is, do you hold the person for immigration? And that almost always comes up in the context of the person is in a jail. That's when it's discovered, if it's discovered at all, their undocumented status. And again, there's 2 kinds of undocumented statuses. Most of them are civil violations, some of them are criminal. So since we don't have a jail, and since when we arrest someone and process them, we move them to the county jail fairly quickly, this is really not an issue for us. It's simply not an issue. Now, like every police chief from every enlightened police department in America, I will tell you that the concerns of police departments is that anybody we deal with feel comfortable that they're getting police services that they need, and that anyone we deal with trusts and cooperates with us. So, for instance, if they're in a car accident, they don't flee the scene because they think that if they encounter the police, they'll be deported. If they're the witness of a crime, they don't flee and not cooperate with the police because they fear they'll be deported. We want them to cooperate with us so we can hold the bad guys accountable if they're a victim or witness of a crime. So that's part of the debate every time this issue comes up. With regard to the recent setting, I forwarded to you folks through the manager a statement by the International Associations of Chiefs of Police, recognizing and appreciating the authority of the federal government. Simultaneously, the association, the 17,000 members of the IACP, their position is that police departments should not be made to enforce immigration law. And again, there's a whole issue of authority and jurisdiction. So, again, we have excellent working relationship with all our federal authorities. We don't get asked to participate in any immigration activity with our immigration authorities, except in the very rare circumstances where there's a criminal arrest warrant or investigation. Okay. And we would, of course, like any agency, assist in that. So I hope that provides insight, and I don't know if you have any other questions.
Thank you, Chief. I just want to read one quick paragraph in this resolution because I think it's important to have it out there. Whereas the Mayor and City Commission of the City of Miami Beach encourage Miami-Dade County to seek input from community stakeholders and county residents with regard to the adverse implications and possible unintended consequences that the Mayor's January 26, 2017 memorandum could have in Miami-Dade County, particularly with regard to fostering of a negative perception among the county's diverse residents and visitors. So we have questions for the Chief?
And if I could, I want to make one other comment. There's also a common misconception that it is easy for anyone in law enforcement to determine someone's immigration status. In fact, it is ridiculously hard to figure that out. There's no button we can push. There's no computer we can go to. It would require us to ask on each individual basis information of the federal government, provide them a whole lot of information, and wait hours for a response. And that has been my experience throughout my career in circumstances where we had serious criminal charges against someone and was trying to determine their true immigration status. That is, and it's a common misconception that that is easily determined by local police. We, in fact, don't know, and it's very hard to determine that.